Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Got the 2018 Chevrolet GMC Sierra. Doesn't have the same ring though. EVAP leak naturally, and a fuel tank pressure sensor performance code. So kind of two things with this Chevy. The fuel tank pressure sensor is skewed and not functioning correctly, so it needs a new one of those. And it also actually has an EVAP leak, and it's leaking out of none other than the top of the fuel pump where they always leak. The metal ring swells up, puts some cracks in the pump itself, so we need to drop the tank. And I just thought I neglected to see how much fuel was in it. I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna live dangerously. It's already up on the lift, so we're not gonna set it back down. We're gonna unhook the drive shaft, get that out of our way. I did leave the truck in neutral and I put a battery maintainer on it so I can just leave it in neutral without unhooking the battery. That way we can get the drive shaft out easier. We'll throw a transmission jack. I brought that out for us underneath the, the fuel tank, and then we'll unhook the filler neck and the gas lines, drop her down, change it out, put it back. Step one, get your classic 11 mil. Now if it has the aluminum drive shaft, you can't get up in here with any type of tools other than an open end wrench, or a box end wrench rather. So it makes it a little bit of a slower process. Be careful if you're up in here with the old classic ratcheter. You can run yourself out to the point of no return, as we call it. And that's where the comes out and you can't get your wrench back if it's non-reversible. So use your noodle a little. We'll keep all the experts at bay. Not really, you won't. You never win against the experts. We're gonna mark the drive shaft, even though it is 100% unnecessary and senseless. Come on, baby. One more try, and then we quit. Yeah! So the drive shaft is balanced as an independent unit, not when it's installed on the rear differential. People will debate you about that, whine and cry, but I ask them this. Let's say, for example, like this drive shaft went bad and you had to buy a new one. Then what? Do you send the truck back to the factory and have them balance it on the rear differential? I don't know. I don't know what you do. Nobody's ever answered that question. Do you put it in and drive it and then see what it feels like, and then take it out and do a 360 or 180 and try it the other way and drive it again? No, you don't. You put it in, you have a nice day. So anyhow, let's keep on keeping on. So here in New York, replacing your drive shaft is a very real repair that we do, particularly on aluminum shafts. So what happens is the U-joint eventually goes bad on these Chevys, or any truck really. U-joint goes bad. Well, when you go to change the U-joint, you'll find that where the clips go into the U-joint, they're just non-existent. There's nothing left on that drive shaft to hold the clip in place. So what we often have to do is replace the drive shaft. So it's a very real repair that we often run across. So right now we're unhooking the fuel line and the EVAP line. It has these little lock tabs on here. Let's see if we can't get up underneath that little guy. We did not depressurize the fuel system or anything, so there's going to be a bit of a squirter here, I'm imagining. There she goes, got that lock up. A little bit of a squirter, not bad. You pee a little, let her just pee right into the bucket. And that's it. I think that's all we need to unhook on this one, is the one fuel line, the one EVAP line, and then now let's go get the filler neck undone. Usually before I unhook that, I make sure the tank straps can come loose in case you got a Sawzall and or torch, but I think we'll be in good shape. She's looking pretty decent. As far as the filler neck goes, big clamp and then little clamp way up on top there. Cut a couple zip ties. I'm gonna have to move you guys out of the way, but yeah, basically just the two hose clamps, and then that's the vent for the rear diff, so we'll just cut those zip ties. And then that corrugated tube, that is just the filter, the inlet filter for the canister vent valve there, and you can just leave that where it's at. Got the clamps off, hoses slid right off. Nice, because it's all stainless. This little clamp, oddly enough, I've never had this happen. It broke. The head on it broke, so just squeezed that with a pair of side cutters and slid the hose off. Needless to say, the hoses are off, the zip ties are cut. We need to see if these straps will come loose. I put the training jack under it. Oh. That came loose a little easier than expected. And that came loose as expected. Kind of weird, huh? But just, if these break, don't sweat it. You can just take your sawzall over on the other side and you can just cut the tank straps. And then when you get the tank straps down, you can get these right from Chevy, or you can actually buy them aftermarket. You can buy a tank strap bolt kit. So you get the bolt, and then there's the nut that goes up in the frame that's on a little clip. So super common. I think we're ready to come down with her now. So you have to reach up on the tank and unhook your pressure sensor and the pump itself. And then we need to unhook the lines, which we're gonna have to unclip them here from up here. There's that line. So you have to get the little lock tab up. All right. We'll stick that to the side. We'll do this one here as well and get our little finger under there. There's that one. Oh, that's just, never mind. This one's a little different. This is just the safety lock. We'll stick that to the side, then we actually have to push in if we can. and we can't. So we're gonna skip that. Come right to this one. There's this one. I'll unhook that one, stick that one to the side, and then we'll revisit this one here. Gosh dang it, I'm gonna have to get my glasses. What the world? Jeez Louise. Alright. I'll get the safety latch back up in this joint. All this stuff can be a little tedious. Alright, we will leave. I guess we can just leave that unhooked. It doesn't matter. Now, we have to massage it. Very gentle massaging. Prior to massaging it, let's just see if the ring turns. Whoa, dude. Easier than expected. Now give it a little toot. There's the cracks. Say no to crack, kids. That's where she's cracked out. One little tiny crack, that's all it takes. One little crack. That's all it takes to ruin your Mother's Day. If you know, you know. Whoa! That scared the pudding out of me. So this is all it takes. This little hairline crack that runs up through the plastic here. Just enough to create an EVAP leak. The Avoca smoking never lies. Whoops, we'll give him back some of his gas he bought. Here's all your gas, little guy. Stick that up to the side. Removing the ring. Why am I so dizzy? Push the dirt down around in a circle, get it to a little open spot so you can give it a little flick. Looks very clean in there, very nice. Some of the southern folks will elect to remove their box if you're doing this in your driveway. Remove the box. Could you imagine being able to take the box off a New York truck? Not on a 2018, you're not. You'll get it off, but it'll crumble. Okay, yeehaw. Let's go get the new, got one right here from Chevrolet. Stand by. Coming. Amplified Baseball America. Where's this thing? Ooh, got the new lock ring from Chevy. There's your numbers that you might need on that. I don't know if that's any of the numbers you need. Made right here in USA. What's up, Miss though? Hey man, you wanna come out to my party, man?
No.
It's good stuff.
Bad stuff.
Makes you feel good, man. What's up?
I'll just get a question. I'm gonna get a minute.
Okay. Right now we're getting... I'll be in shortly. So we got a brand new pump here from Chevrolet. I don't know where, I don't know its country of origin. Probably China, I would imagine. You know what was weird about this one? I'll tell you a little story. Is, let's make sure the orientation is the same. And it is. What was weird about this one, make sure we get it going right way here. Generally when you order the pump from Chevy, it does not come with your fuel level sensor. And it's oftentimes significantly more money to buy it with said sensor. Do I have this going the wrong way? Yes, because that's the pressure line. Easy there, ding dong. In this case, for whatever reason, this one was cheaper from GM with the fuel level sensor. I don't know. Their pricing matrix I've yet to understand. Sometimes these fuel pumps are $1,000. Sometimes they're $200. They're all over the board on their fuel pumpage price. But this is the first time I've ran across a genuine OEM that was cheaper with the fuel level sensor. Come on, you mother-loving son of a... Mother, bro. So this is the problem. This is your problem, lady. What happens is this metal ring here in the tank, it swells up and gets this just a little on the tight side. So you gotta get her just right. You don't want to break the flange on the way in. Come on, you son of a... Let me go get a hammer handle. You guys stay right there, don't move. Always use a plastic hammer too, because if you don't have a plastic hammer, you're gonna break something. This makes you feel good on the inside. There we go. There we go. Just gives you a little more surface area. Gives you something to hang on to. There it is. That looks really good. Really good. I think that's where everything goes. Make sure it's started in every single one. And then you're going to want to use a brass hammer in case of explosion. Bada bing, bada boom. That's how you do that. Don't do it like that, I should say. This will be a good video for how not to do something. Click, bang, boom, that little guy right back into place. Get your lines of fueling. Is this how that one goes? It is not. Is this how this one goes? And it is. Almost got me on that one, Chevy. Slide that bad mamma jam over. Make sure she bottoms out. Slide that right back in. Click that right back where it belongs. Get the big one here. Is that how that one goes? Appears to be. Slide that baby back in. Latch it up. Click it in. Put the duct tape back on it. There you go. That is how you do it. And then we're gonna, that thing, we're gonna hose this down with a bit of some kind of anti-corrosive spraying stuff. All right, here we go. Let's get some of that. Today's flavor of the day is Crown. That's just the flavor of the day. Don't ask me any more about it. Okay, you can ask. I usually had some fluid film down here. I ran out of that, so I had a couple of sample packs of Surface Shield, and I ran out of that, and then the Crown people were just by giving out free samples, so I've got that. And that's why I'm using the Crown penetrating oil. Nothing penetrates better than Crown. I'm just kidding. There's other stuff. And they don't sponsor me. Not a sponsor. But it works well for, fighting the rusty crusties. That's it. Let's put this baby back in. So you got to be careful whether you're doing this on the ground on a floor jack or, using a trainee jack. She gets a little wishy-washy, and all of a sudden you get 5 gallons of gas, which isn't a lot until it rolls to the end there, and you're trying to do the teeter-totter holding up 50 pounds when it all shot to one side. Ish, 50 pounds ish. So, be careful. And these are the nuts that clip up on the frame that I was telling you about for your tank straps. They just sit right up on there. Easy to get to. Both of them are easy to get to. So if you have to hack and whack, fear not. I gotta pull my britches up so I get my foot up on the pedal. Usually when I have it on a trainee jack, I like to bias the weight towards one side if I can. It's just a little easier to control. Whoa, dude, on pedal. And that's that. Put your clamp back on your filler neck, the little clamp up on the little hose, and then, you know, wire tie everything back out of the way. You don't have to cram it down, like I said, that's just in that hose. And, you know, includes the rear hose here for the diff. That's what this other hose is right here. And that was hanging down, so I put a zip tie on up there as well, because she's at full droop right now. But that's in case you take your Chevy out under the water, you can take it into water up to the filler neck. At that point, you're pretty well screwed in most situations. So that's it. I went through, torque wrenched everything, came back here, torque wrench. Obviously, get that zip tie down. Dots lined back up for all you guys on the line. Gonna make you happy. And that's it. Fuel line's hooked up, vapor line's hooked up. Let's see if it runs. According to the drive shaft, everything is okay. Let's see, 87 thou on this old girl. End part. The gas gauge should read damn near empty, because that's where it was at. And it is. He said not to worry about the service tire monitor light though. Oh yeah, she is on the empty. Big time. Money lights on. After a couple key cycles, the gas gauge is sitting between 1/8 and 1/4. I was a little concerned, but I didn't express that to you initially when it was right dead empty, because it wasn't dead empty, but yeah, so now it's just a whisper below the 1/4 of a tank. Of course, we're gonna have codes in it. So we're just going to do a full system scan and then a full system clear, and just make sure the codes that we have now is not a problem that we created. Like I say, we did have it neutral. The key was in the cutoff position, but still not fully off. Fuel tank pressure performance. Fuel pressure sensor circuit low. Imagine that. Fuel sensor level high. So a lot of these are self-induced, and then it has, you know, TPMS codes and whatnot. We don't care about the rest. We'll give it a quickie. Usually on the GMs you gotta do it twice to do it nice. Oh, she got her the first go round. So now start her up, let her run a few times, make sure we don't have any hard faults, immediate circuit faults, and then we'll move on with our life. I gave her the 1-2 scanneroo. We still have TPMS codes, Natch, nothing popped up in the ECM. Let's just have a little look, because it is a new part. And that's one of the things we don't trust in this world, new parts. So we're gonna jump into some EVAP data, and we wanna make sure of some things. And that thing being the fuel tank pressure sensor, we expect to see about 1.5 volts. 0.6, I'm happy with that. That one, the purge is off. Where does it give our vents venting? Fuel tank pressure sensor, 0 inches of the mercury. I would expect something different there at 1.6. A little bit of fluctuation here. Fuel tank pressure sensor. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Sometimes I do stuff on the line and then I don't notice I did it wrong until I go to edit it. Let's make sure the old purger works. We're gonna purge and seal this little guy. We're at venting. Let's go, let's give her a 30% purge. Yeah, pressure sensor's working, old son. Let's seal this system off. She is sealed. And there's gonna be decay. All right, so you're gonna see that slowly decaying. And there is probably some mathematical ratio which tells us what's good and what's not. Sitting there at 2.67. 67. I don't even know what that means. I just know to do that. Let's see. We'll bump her up, a little more vacuum, seal the system before it kicks us out. I'm happy if you're happy. We could throw the old Avoca Smoker back on it, but I've seen these decay enough to know, like, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. The other thing you can do too is we can go into the vent valve. Let me go shut the vehicle off. We'll go key on engine off. And what would you expect if we seal the system off, not venting? I would expect to see an increase in pressure. Right now the truck's running, so we're getting a decrease in pressure. Probably got some purge action going on. We don't. We're decreasing pressure. Let's go back to venting, send it back to atmospheric. Let me shut it off, stand by. Key back on. Do I hear lawnmower, man? It is damn near December. And I hear must be Leaf Man today. Okay, not venting. Let's see what happens. And it's going to depend on fuel volatility, probably not the right word, whether or not this is going to draw itself into a vacuum, which it appears to be doing, or if it's going to increase in pressure. But we can see in this case, it's drawing into a vacuum. In either case, we're key on engine off and the tank now is sealed. We've shut the back door, we've closed the vent valve. And regardless if it pulls itself into a vacuum or it starts to build pressure, we accomplish the same thing because that says, hey, we're sealed. So now we're going to let her go back to the atmosphere. And even though that was just an incremental amount, it still feels good in my heart and my mind to know that we have this thing sealed up. This works a lot better if the truck, if we go pull it out in the sunshine and let that tank warm up a little bit. You'll get some better results. So that's that. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It's no different than leaving your gas can for your lawnmower out in your shed and you go out there and the thing's this big around. Or you go out there when it's cold out and the sides are sucked together. Similar thing. Exactly the same, actually. And that's it. So give this one back to the fella. I smoked it originally. I had seen where it was leaking, and like I said, we could hook up the Avoca smoker, but I'm pretty confident until I'm not. If the light comes on, I'll take care of it, obviously. Gosh, now I'm second guessing myself. Well, I sit here and second guess myself. Why don't you not second guess going into that comment section, Insta, Facebook. And just remember, viewers, I can do it. You can do it. Thanks for watching.